So I'm going to show you how to properly lift, and in this scenario with yard work stuff, but this would also apply to really any lifting. So the two things you really want to think about are being able to hip hinge. So that would mean hinging through your hip and staying neutral through your spine, as opposed to flexing like this. So both with kind of a hip hinge to lift, you'd also want to be neutral with a squat or with a lunge. And so we're just avoiding this pattern. And so I'll show you kind of the normal way we'd lift. So normally you'd kind of go into a nice squat, grab the object low, think about pushing through your feet, squeezing your glutes back up. Now, a common mistake people make is they kind of initiate by lifting with their shoulders first, and you can see my back arch there, as opposed to all one motion driving from the hips. Then you can go more of kind of a deadlift pattern where you bend at the knees less, especially if your knees are a little more sore. You might have to default to this, although long term I'd recommend being able to work into a squat to help out those knees long term. But anyways, a little more less knee bend, a little more there, and then driving up with the glutes. And then lastly, you can kind of go with a lunge pattern and drive up. So my recommendation would be to kind of mix that in and kind of do different variations. When it is a heavier load, then definitely go more of the squat pattern. But if it's a lighter load, definitely mix in lunging in the different directions to lift it, a little less knee bend, a little more of that hip hinge. And then with that, it's totally normal to have a little bit of back soreness and maybe ache with this, because you are using your back muscles, but the goal would be you'd feel your legs more sore or a little more achy, knowing that you were using that more than your back. And then also, you really should be strength training. So you should be doing some squats, should be doing some deadlifts. You might not go terribly heavy, but with the loads that you are using with your yard work, you should be able to do that with strength. And so if you need some help with that, we're happy to help you. Lastly, it's okay to rotate a little bit when you lift. So it is okay to kind of come, if I'm trying to go from point A to point B, to kind of rotate and go there and kind of move like that. And that's okay. I don't have to be this robot that moves like this and picks this up and turns like this. It is okay for me to turn. Notice how I'm moving my hips and pivoting through my feet as I go, but that is okay and more functional. And our spine was made to, believe it or not, bend and twist while we lift. So you don't always have to be this robotic neutral spine. It is okay to twist a little bit while you lift, but also train that with exercises like chops and lifts and wood choppers, etc. So hope that's helpful for you with lifting. Go out there, get strong through those glutes, and happy lifting.